Tell them you want your money back, Hiru. Did you buy that book?
Yeah, I bought it.
Man,
Tell them you want your money back. You want a refund.
I gave
Peace,
that nigga the
love, and
source
power.
material.
What's going on? It's your one and only Kansu Sheshmu right here, Team O.S.I.R.I.S, live once again on Google Hangouts and YouTube and all that good stuff.
I give
Peace,
that nigga the
love, and
source
power.
material.
What's going on? Hold on. It's your one and only Kansu. Yeah, we appreciate everybody coming in tonight. We got a special show. We actually doing a revised show for a broadcast from yesterday. We kind of wanted to bring more information, be a little more fair to the subject matter. So we're going to talk about plagiarizing. We got a brother by the name of Wudjau, O.S.I.R.I.S. I believe that's his whole name. And seems like we may have some plagiarism going on. And, you know, we're just bringing the truth and the data. Audience, you decide. But it's pretty obvious. So before we move in our tradition of African spirituality, let me open the gates of wisdom. Papa Legua, bringing our wisdom, power, and strength. Open the doors of truth, honesty, and justice. Papa Legua. So, man, that's a good cigar, man. Woo. So, we're talking about plagiarism tonight. Kind of alluded to it yesterday, talking about truth and honesty, character. You know, we have people talking about character throughout the community. So we got character on display tonight. What we're going to start off with is a brief introduction to everybody. But before we do that, let me share my screen quickly and kind of go through the definition of the term plagiarism. You can find this on plagiarism.org. It says, what is plagiarism? If you're looking at my screen, many people think of plagiarism as copying another's work or borrowing someone else's original ideas. The terms like copying, quote unquote, and borrowing, quote unquote, can disguise the seriousness of the offense. So according to the Merriam-Webster online dictionary, to plagiarize means to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own. To use another's production without crediting the source. To commit literary theft. To present as new and original an idea, product derived from an existing source. In other words, plagiarism is an act of fraud. It involves both stealing someone else's work and lying about it afterwards. Now, with that being said, that's pretty serious. Matter of fact, it's something you don't take for play. And we've heard before that a well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth. And I can tell you, I totally believe in that statement. Totally believed in that. I can definitely concur with that statement. A well-organized lie will defeat a disorganized truth. So we're going to make sure this truth is organized. So before we do that, from my right and your left, start with one of the founders of the illustrious team, Osiris, Brother Kufu. What's up, Ken?
Peace, yo. Team O.S.I.R.I.S on the horizon. Maybe reach our zenith. Hey, I wanted to ask you, could you show real quick an example of plagiarism? So people can be clear of exactly what it looks like. Let me see if I can send you the. I don't know if you can look in the back chat.
Can you send me the link? I got it.
You want it on Facebook?
Yeah.
Or it's in the back chat. I send it to both of them. Wow, not that one. Let me see. Because we want to show the world, you know what I'm saying, what a literary thief looks like.
Gotcha. I'm right here. Is this
Well, hold up.
YouTube link?
No, actually, I'm sending it.
Wow.
That's not it. This is it right here.
All right.
If you say, yeah. Just click on that link right there. This is from Indiana.edu.
Indiana University.
Right.
All
So
right.
if you pull it up.
Let's share the screen.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Okay, it shows you how to recognize plagiarism, man. You can see the original version. Below that, you see the plagiarized version, and then you see the correct version. I mean, can you enlarge that, or just briefly show them like exactly what it's talking about from the original version, with just the area that is highlighted in the original version, the area that is highlighted in the plagiarized version?
Yes.
And okay.
So as you see, it's talking about technology, and in the highlighted part of the plagiarized version, it says the first technology was primitive modes of communication used by prehistoric people before the development of spoken language. Now, when we go to the correct version, to your
Now show
right.
the original version. The original version. Yeah, read that to show that it's exactly the same thing.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. The original source material is technology has significantly so forth and so on. When we get to the blue letters, as you can see, the first technology was the primitive modes of communication used by prehistoric people before the development of spoken language. Okay? So now we go down to the plagiarized version of that, along with the correct version. Now, this source of the original source material was by T. Frick, 1991, Resurrecting Education Through Technology from Bloomington, Indiana, Phi Delta Kappa Educational Foundation. If you go to the plagiarized version, on the left you see in the gray box, the first technology was the primitive modes of communication used by prehistoric people before the development of spoken language. That would be considered plagiarism. In order to correct this problem, if you look to your right, you would see in the green highlight, Frick, 1991, parentheses, believes that, quote, the first technology was the primitive modes of communication used by prehistoric people before the development of spoken language, end quote, page 10. Reference, Frick T, 1991, Resurrecting Education Through Technology, Bloomington, Indiana, Phi Delta Kappa Educational Foundation.
Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. You basically hit the nail on the head right there. That's it. We just want the people to see an example of something, of an original work, the plagiarized work, and how it's actually supposed to look when you use it. So yes, peace and blessings to the whole panel. Sister Neferkai, Melvin, Brother Chris, Cameron, of course, Consul himself, Brother Joseph, the other brother, Heru, and Amir Kamar. Peace to the family.
Peace, brother. I appreciate that.
Peace.
And hopefully that helps our listeners and those who may have any questions in regards to that. Next on the panel, really needs no introduction. You know, the queen herself of Team Offset, Queen Neferkai. What's going on, Queen?
Peace, everybody. Peace. You know, I'm glad to be here, honored as always, and I think all of us, or the majority of us, are taking part in a 30-day fast. So part of my fast is that I wasn't going to talk shit. So there's a lot of things I want to say, but I'm not going to say. I'll just say that I'm looking forward, very, very much looking forward to the information that's going to be presented tonight. And I concur wholeheartedly with everything that's being presented. And that's all. Peace, everybody on the panel.
Peace. Next, the Grand Archivist. There is no book that this brother cannot find or know of, actually. Not too many. Grand Archivist, Brother Melvin, what's going on, King?
Peace, bro. Peace to the family. Peace to the listeners. Just here chiming in, taking notes and getting this work done. Team Osiris is definitely on the horizon.
Uh-huh.
Black flag is raised.
Mm-hmm. Anarchy, I say. Brother Cameron, uh, the Renaissance man. This is our resident sniper.
Peace to
He does
everybody
his
on the
thing.
panel.
Go ahead, King. My bad.
Peace, bro. Peace, queens and kings on the panel. Peace to everybody watching and listening. Team Osiris is definitely on the horizon.
Peace, King. This is our the next brother, Brother Joseph, the intelligent, brilliant thug, man. This is the intelligent thug right here.
Peace. Team O.S.I.R.I.S on the horizon. Black flag is definitely raised.
Yes, sir. The gentle giant, wisdom abounds this brother all the time, man. The brother Heru. What's up, King?
Peace to the viewership, peace to the panel. Team Osiris on the horizon.
And last but not least, our founder, good brother, man, great brother, and silly as hell, man. I wish y'all could hear some of the stuff he be talking about, man. He had your ass laughing, real. Amir Kamara, man. What's up, King?
Peace and love to the family. Team Osiris on the horizon, man. I'm ready to learn, man, and listen and know what's happening out there in the world, yo. This fast is going good. But peace and love to the family. Team Osiris on the horizon, man. We about to get it in. And yo, I just want to learn. Part of the fast is like the sister. Oh yeah, and peace and love to the divine feminine, Neferka. I gotta pay homage to her. Peace and love to the whole panel. And then, like she said, part of the fast, I don't want to speak negative, even though I might say certain things. Yesterday I said certain things about people that can agitate me, but I just want to learn. Team Osiris on the horizon. That's
In that
100.
order, bro. And I will say, man, I've only been in the fast for a day. And this shit real, cuz. This shit real. It's real out here. I never knew tomatoes could taste so good, man. These tomatoes taste like Lucky Charms to me. That's how this fast is messing with me, man. So, but it's a good thing. We're doing it for a good cause, man. I shade to the ancestor, and I'm going to stay to the ancestor, Dr. Satan. So, with that being said, man, I'm going to open the floor to a brother who is dedicated to what he does, and he's passionate about it. And he's going to go in. He's going to go clean in. So you're going to have to take it how you're getting it. Brother Christopher, man, I'm going to start calling him the Iron Man, Teflon Don. What's going on, bro? The floor is yours.
Thank you. Peace, Brother Consul. Peace to the whole Team Osiris. Peace to Team Aset. The Queen Africa. We on Horizon. It is what it is. We do what we do. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna go into something real quick, and I'm just gonna go in. I would actually like everybody to refrain from having any opinion until you actually see what's being presented. So. Hey, can I be heard clear?
Sure can.
All right, cool.
Your screen is clear as well, bro.
All right, so as I was learning, going through JSesh, creating glyphs and doing things like that, I stumbled upon a page. By accident, it is what it is. Someone out there likes me well enough to scrape my content. Be aware of medunetzer.com. I didn't think about it much, let me even do this, because I'm really about to go in. We didn't make this, I didn't make it. Just be patient, I apologize. Alright, so certain individuals, I guess, have been accused of plagiarizing since July 24th, 2013. So I'm just going to click on here. All right, so again, the screen I was at before. Someone out there likes me well enough to scrape my content. So they're saying be aware of MetaNetter.com. This website linked to each of my lessons. Nothing particularly strange about that, but I decided to investigate. So he clicked the link to check out the site. A slight annoyance, but nothing big. I just had to use Google cached version for open it. You know what I mean? Whatever. He had to do what he had to do. This is what's important to me. You have lessons that were obviously stolen at this point. I'm going to show something even here. Okay. This is a screenshot of stolen content on medunetter.com at that point in time. And remember this image because it's going to come up soon again in the presentation. This is why I needed to show this. This is the original screenshot. This is what he has to say. The sign list looked familiar as well. It followed the same format as mine and used the same abbreviations and style. I quickly glanced through my sign list to find any errors, and if those errors were transferred to the sign list at the other site. Sure enough, I found a couple. I forgot to add the periods after the phono and idio and P8 and P9 respectively. All right? So, another thing's interesting, which needs to come up too, because you're going to see comparisons between these books that are actually discussed. I'm not going to list every example because it's pointless, and there is already sufficient evidence to show that this person is scraping my content. The only thing I'm somewhat angry about is the fact that this person is charging money for Middle Egyptian lessons, not just a few bucks, but 50. This is 2016. Actually, it's $100 now. So I can even begin to fathom how someone can rationalize this, especially if you consider what you receive for that amount. History of the ancient Egyptian language, language phases, types of scripts, direction of reading and writing, pronunciation, ordering, sign list, transliteration, how to look up words, sign list, vocabulary, grammar basics, break up words, sentences, numbers and dates, royal names, offering formulas, deciphering of wall scenes, reviews, blah, blah, blah. So they're charging $50 for the amount. This is what this individual was saying. He's been saying this since 2013. And it's 2016, it's $100 now. So what he's basically saying is that, you're paying $30 for a book. Let me say what he's going to say, actually. So they're charging $50 for the amount of content found in about 2 chapters of any grammar book, a steal. And the content may be an exact duplicate of what is freely found on this site. I don't know for sure because I'm not about to shell out $50 to check. There is no mention of who's providing these lessons, or even a list of their qualifications. You are expected to eat the cost and hope for the best. If you want to pay money to learn the Egyptian language, buy a grammar book. James Hawk, Middle Egyptian, $39, $52. James P. Allen, this is funny. Really look at this because this is about to be very interesting. $37 to $42. Beginner books, blah, blah, blah. So.
Brother Chris, could you scroll back for a second, please?
Yes.
Just 1 second. To where what you just read. I want the audience to see this. What this person's opinion, what his opinion. He says at the end, right there, you are expected to eat the cost and hope for the best. There is no transparency at all. I hope no one falls for this scam. So I want everybody to be aware of what was just said by this individual. Go ahead, brother. Thank you.
Oh, no problem at all. All right, so as these things were seen, we had to investigate. It is what it is. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
That it is.
Okay. So, now this is for one thing. I'm not just someone out there that's just. I'm not just running my mouth. I'm not about the money. I don't care about that. Um, I buy books. I learn the information on my own time to put out there to the people and do it for free. You know what I mean? This isn't a game to me. It's not a joke to me. I have a job. You know what I mean? I have things I do in my day-to-day life that I'm able to provide for myself, and this isn't one of them that makes money for me. So I do this because I want to. It's my passion. It's my love. But one thing is interesting is these two books. One on my right is Seshu Medu-Neter, Inscriptions, Divine Words, A Beginner's Introduction to Medu-Neter, the Ancient Egyptian Hieroglyphic System by Wudjau, just Wudjau. You have Middle Egyptian, An Introduction to the Language and Cultures of Hieroglyphs, 3rd edition. Now, everything I found in this book, I found it in the 3rd edition, but I also went back into the 2nd edition, and it holds the same. So regardless of what edition that you have, you can find what I'm showing within here. And the reason why I'm doing this is because someone is giving basics for the price of an actual university course. And not only that, but, I mean, again, I'm not making these accusations. I'm just seeing what the counterparts within each book, and it falls under plagiarism, and it is what it is. So let's just get right into it. All right. So earlier, like I said, pay attention to what the other individual in 2013 was saying about his site and what was taken from the meduneter.com site. These are the actual 2 screenshots. This is his right here. You see it. Remember, he said he forgot to put the dot here. He forgot it here. Meduneter.com forgot to do the same thing too. Okay, now this is the updated book. Now, what's interesting is that, you know, you're going to see these, well, I hope after 3 years, you're going to see these corrections. But out of all of my, from Gardner to James P. Allen, this combination still fits within this same structure. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Next slide. James P. Allen, Middle Egyptian, 2014, 3rd edition, page 229. I'm sorry, somebody say something.
Pardon the body. I just want to say this, brother. Could everybody see your screen, or no?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Cool. Okay, cool.
All right, James P. Allen, 3rd edition, page 29. The rebus principle is not limited to single consonants. In an English rebus, we might use the picture of a leaf to write not only the word leaf, but also the 2nd syllable of the word belief. You see that, you know, the hieroglyphs. If we ignore the vowels, we could use the same sign to write the word life, laugh, loaf, and elf as well. In doing so, we will be using to represent 2 consonants, L plus F. In a hieroglyphic system, which signs are known as biliteral, 2-letter. An example is the picture of the branch, which was used as a biliteral sign for, HT, hut. And you can't even pronounce these. There's no vowels to it. Like, everybody, so stop playing. Everybody that sits there and says, matter of fact, if you're pronouncing Egyptian words, you're using Egyptological convention. So let's stop playing that game. You know. So like, we're not gonna do that. From the Egyptian word here or here, which stands for wood. Next. Oh, this looks very similar. A Beginner's Introduction to Medu-Neter by Wudjau, page 90-91. The rebus principle is not limited to a single consonant. In an English rebus, we might use the picture of a leaf. It's a leaf, but it don't look like the same leaf. But you can't trick me with just because you want to switch the way the leaf looks. To write not only the word leaf, but also the 2nd syllable of the word belief. If we ignore the vowels, we could use the same sign to write the words life, laugh, loaf, and elf as well. In doing so, we will be using to represent 2 consonants, L plus F. Now, they didn't use Seshu Medu-Neter, you know what I'm saying? But, you can't just throw in a few words and it's different. Such signs are known as biliterals, 2 letters. An example is the picture of a tree branch. We just saw that again, which was used as the biliteral sign for, from Ra and Kemet, you can't throw that again, Egyptian word for hut, wood. Anybody need questions? I'm gonna keep rocking.
Could you scroll back to the previous picture and then come back to this one again?
Yes, give me 1 second. Tell me when to stop.
No, back to the previous passage that you have read.
I believe this was it, right?
Keep going. Right there. And right there. So could you go back one?
Yeah.
No, not two. You're going forward.
It's like reading the same book over again.
Right. Now that's the first one. So could you enlarge that?
Can I make that bigger?
No, that's fine right there.
You said the page number is page 9091.
Yep. If anybody has Wudjau's book, if you have James P. Allen's, please go to the page numbers that I'm providing.
Now, could we see?
James
don't
Allen's.
need to. That's fine. But could you go back to James P. Allen's?
Yes. 1 second.
This is James P. Allen, page 29. So we see the rebus principle is not limited to single consonants. In an period. In English rebus, we might use the picture of a leaf. Now go back to Wudjau's picture or rendition. The rebus principle is not limited to single consonants. In an English rebus, we might use the picture of a leaf, word for word. No quotation, no notation. You can continue, brother.
For this one, I did not even actually need to highlight. This is actually I mean, it is what it is. This is actually very sad, but it is what it is. And I don't mean to laugh at anybody, but we cannot allow this in the yes. But we cannot allow this in the community for people to talk about bad character. We're all human. We all make mistakes, but we all don't go around conniving and. I mean, you don't get over on your own people over ignorance. I mean, who does that? So anyway, we're gonna continue. So Coptic. This is James P. Allen, page 8, page 9. You got the book. Open it up. The Egyptians who adopted Christianity after the 1st century A.D. began to translate the sacred scriptures of this new religion into their own language. But they were reluctant to use the Coptic script for that purpose because of its association with the older pagan religion. Instead, they wrote their sacred texts in the letters of the Greek alphabet. This script is called Coptic, the same term used for the Egyptian branch of Christianity. The Coptic alphabet has 32 letters, 24 taken from Greek, and 7 for sounds that Egyptians had but Greek did not, and 1 monogram, 1 letter standing for 2, which would be the equivalent of a biliteral. Here is a sample of Coptic writing with the words separated, and its equivalent in English. Please look at these. I mean, please keep a mental image. As a matter of fact, all of this. These are the first words of the Christian Lord's Prayer, Our Father who is in the skies, may your name be holy. For more on the Coptic alphabet, you can see this if you have this book by James P. Allen. So I'm just going to it's that deep. I mean, you can space it out, make the words look bigger to fill more pages, but it is what it is. Wudjau, page 28-29, Coptic. The Egyptians who adopted Christianity after the 1st century A.D. began to translate the sacred scripture of this new religion into their own language. But they were reluctant to use the Demotic script for this purpose because of its association with the older pagan religion. Instead, they wrote their sacred texts in the letters of the Greek alphabet. This script is called Coptic, the same term used for the Egyptian branch of Christianity. The The Coptic alphabet has 32 letters, 24 taken from the Greek, 7 for sounds that Egyptian had but Greek did not, and 1 monogram, 1 letter standing for 2 biliterals. Here is a sample of the Coptic writing. Take a picture again because you're going to see the same image. These are the first words of the Christian Lord's Prayer. Our Father who is in the skies, may your name be holy. Like demotic term, I didn't even have to get into that. Do we have any comments before I go on?
Yeah, I do. I have a comment, brother Chris. Checkmate. Go ahead, bro.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely checkmate.
Yeah, I actually have a comment. You see James P. Allen in his book, especially with under the Coptic section that you're talking about, he even adds like a footnote marker to that 5 where he actually sources where he can lead you to that particular site. So even he is citing his information. I don't see that in the other book.
Can you all hear me?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, brother Chris.
Yeah, brother.
Did James P. Allen, did he classify Medu Neter or Egyptian language as Negro Egyptian? What language family is the Egyptian language classified as to James P. Allen?
I'm actually glad you brought that up. James P. Allen did not classify that language classification within that, and in fact, ancient Egyptian is not a Bantu language. In fact, we know that we're using terms to classify these languages, but what will be classified, which could be given actual examples with other related languages, will be classified as Afro-Asiatic or the Afrasian language. And matter of fact, you can actually reconstruct a lot of the ancient Egyptian language using the Semitic counterparts that were recorded during the same time period. And not only that, but with the Northeast Africans like the Bija, the Oromo, you know what I'm saying? The Somali, you know what I'm saying? Which again, these experts also give homage and pay homage to. Matter of fact, the ancient everyone, I don't care who you are, and you can play the game. The best dictionary in the whole world of Egyptology is the German Walter Bush dictionary. I have Adolf Ehrman's Lifestyle of the Ancient Egyptians, which he's one of the authors of that multi-volume of the Ancient Egyptian language written in German. But he even says this, and he said this in the time, I believe, 1894, around that period. He stated that the ancient Egyptians were an African people, and their language was an African language. So we all can stop playing these games.
Interesting. So, clearly, the language based off what I'm seeing, I mean, I got this book. You gave reference to it before, and I copped it. And you can clearly see, and I also have Christopher Ehret book, Afro-Asiatic, the big orange one. He clearly breaks down, he shows certain languages between other Eastern African languages like Cushitic and Somali and other languages that matches up with Egyptian. So I think that they kind of knocks out Mboli, the brother Mboli, his personal view of Egyptian being Negro Egyptian or whatever he called it. So I mean, if this was plagiarized, if one group of people were saying that the Egyptian language family is called Negro Egyptian, but then he's taking things from someone who classifies the Egyptian language family as Afro-Asiatic, that's kind of deep. Deep.
That is deep.
Got to try to make sense out of it.
And like we said before, that's called
I
checkmate.
like you stole that shit. That's what that shit sound like. Looking at the pages and shit. Where the quotations?
Somebody got hustled.
Where's the reference numbers? Where the quotations at?
Yeah, like
Slight marks. No slight marks.
For all this stuff like being said, where are the page numbers for it? And now, again, I got these books. I can get on Amazon. You can see the date that I bought them. Earlier in the book, yeah, you may have like, coded like in footnotes for like, I think maybe like 4 or 5 pages or something. But for all the shit I'm showing, like where's the page numbers? And don't get into my bad character and all this. Like come on, let's stop playing games. It's all about the information.
Yeah, now we getting into his bad character.
No page numbers?
Yeah, we getting into his bad character. Where's Mayat? Where's the Mayat at?
Where's the Book of Ptahhotep?
Yeah, where's Ptahhotep at? So, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think this literary thief agenda is? I mean, is it to seem more intelligent than he really is? Or, I mean, was he Russian and just forgot? I mean, should we give him a way out or what?
No, it's called faking it till you make it, And like I said, I was intimately, on an intellectual level, a part of this group. Again, I had a hand in starting that group, Seshumat Medunetter, because beginning it was the Warriors of Maya, and I was the actual president of that group. But we're not even going to get into that. We're going to deal with the information. But plagiarism is plagiarism. You know what I'm saying? Lying to people is lying to people. I don't care how you want to put it. I'm not making money off none of this. I make money in my own way outside of this. I have a passion for information. I have a passion for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So, and I got more slides so we can get it popping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's go.
Yeah, because I'm sure you're going to have some questions and comments from the audience. I think you have one now, but I'm sure they can wait until you finish your presentation.
No, Melvin, before he go in, because Chris got a lot to show, what's the question that they asking in the audience? Because, I don't want us to lose focus. What's the question right quick?
Well, it's really a statement. They're saying, this is from a Christopher Baldwin. He says, Wudjau does reference James P. Allen in the back of his book. And then he says, but as a scholar, he doesn't reference the stolen content correctly. And I think that, that does need to be brought up.
I'm glad that's brought up, and thank you for bringing it up. And that's exact same thing that I've just said, and that's what's being said, or what's being said. You can reference, whatever, but where in the footnotes or where in the sections, that you're quoting from, are you giving, points of reference where I can look in the back of the book to where I can see within that book what page number that you found that in.
Basically the way he referenced it, as if he went and he like, you have to reference your ideas as well. Like, where did you come? Because when I was in college, if I make a point, I got to show where I made that point from, where I got that idea from, and build on that. So this is different. This is like word for word plagiarism.
What they're talking about, I want to make light to something, to that question, if I may digress.
Oh, please
do. Go ahead, Brother Kufu. If you're not finished, go ahead, brother.
Christopher Bernard, that's Sanjetti, right?
I believe so.
Okay, go ahead, Consul.
Yeah, what I wanted to make statement, and I know this is going to come up, bibliographies. A list of sources used in preparing a work. When you list a bibliography, you have to have a footnote or a marker within the contextual usage so that a person can understand the perspective in that particular chapter or region of the book. A bibliography alone does not give credence. The bibliography means that you use it as reference material, not empirical data. This is being written as an empirical data source because there are no quotations, only bibliography. So you have to give cite and citation within the bibliography combined so that plagiarism cannot be given. So without putting quotations, page numbers, and reference to the original body of work, without doing that, all you are doing is parroting the person's concept, but you're not coming with your own unique concept. And then you put a price tag on. That's called plagiarism. Continue, bro.
Well said, Brother Consul. So now we have James P. Allen, page 33, triliterals. In addition to uniliteral and biliteral phonograms, There are also hieroglyphic signs that represent 3 consonants. They are called triliteral, 3-letter signs. Like biliterals, triliteral signs were often written with phonetic complements to spell out all or part of their value. Wudjau, page 109. In addition to monoliteral and biliteral phonograms, there are signs representing a combination of 3 consonants. These are called triliteral. I'm sorry, what?
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. I was disrespectful. I couldn't hold it in. I'm
No,
sorry.
I couldn't either. Yo. This shit is wild. In addition to monoliteral and biliteral phonograms, there are signs representing a combination of 3 consonants. These are called triliteral, 3-letter signs. Like biliteral and triliteral signs were often accompanied with phonetic complements to spell out all or part of their value. Now, let me go back to that again. Hold on. Oh shit. I don't want to rush.
Yeah, well, because there's a few words that are changed, like unilateral and monolateral. So one would assume that these are 2 totally different authors from 2 totally different perspectives about the triliteral signs. But
No, it's not. Let me know when you can see the James P. Allen page.
Yeah, we see it. It looks like it's word for word exactly.
All right, so let
Pretty
me
much
just.
almost a word for word.
Would anybody else like to read this beside me, so they can't just put this on me?
Nah, go ahead, King.
We can read. We all see it. We all can see it.
All right, so
You see that shit?
it is what it is. And true loyal scribes, you got some explaining to do, because the shit's not looking true. So I had to highlight this in green because I caught on to some shit. You can't just change one word; it's gonna change the whole structure. That's not popping like that.
Remember,
So
word for word plagiarism consists of 7 or more words used.
Oh shit! I guess this is a
Cited and
lawsuit.
referenced.
I guess this is something
I
else.
was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same.
I guess this is something else. So this is James P. Allen, page 82. The first part, which in Wudjau's book he tries to say the first name, but the first part of the titulary is known as the Horus name. It is oldest of the 5 names and consonants of 3 elements, and consists of 3 elements. 1, a falcon perched on a schematic rendering of the archaic palace, within which is the king's name. The falcon is emblematic of Horus, Heru, the god of kingship. The schematic palace is known as the Sirek. You can see the SR, in Mandel decoded, this would be like, the X. From the word Sirek, make known, its lower part represents the niche facet. This is like crazy. Oh, please look at this. Remember, the first part, only difference is name, which you're about to see, niche facet. Everything else, you could try to switch it and pop it how you want to. Wudjau, page 151. The first name of the tutelary is that known as the Heru, as the Horus Heru name. It is the oldest of the 5 names and consists of 3 elements. 1, a falcon perched on a schematic rendering of the archaic palace, within which is the king's name. The schematic palace is known as the, don't need to even say it again and break it down. Sirek, from the word, make known, its lower part represents the niche facet. Let me rewind that again back. We ain't playing games with people, man. People want to talk shit and want to act like, you guys are angry.
Not to interrupt, but
yeah,
even the numbers are put in the same place. Like when you're a writer or an editor, you pay attention to key details like punctuation and the words, the way they're phrased, the way a sentence has a certain type of structure, and it's just like mirror copies. Mirror copies. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
If I'm not mistaken, in one of your presentations, Brother Chris, this individual Wudjau attempted to come onto the show and pretty much take the damn show over, talking about what he knows and what he don't know.
Yes, and to have
I appreciate you for maintaining your respect and being respectful to the brother. I give you credit for that, bro.
No, thank you a lot. And what I don't like is how you can come at 2 days later and do my, takes, we're not gonna get into that. We're gonna deal with this right now. We're gonna deal with the
Yeah, go
plagiarism.
ahead, run through all them slides, man, because everybody needs to see that it's probably a better choice not to purchase his book if it's a copy and paste from James
Yo,
P.
I'm gonna
Allen's
say
work.
this right now. Right? And this is real shit. I bought the book. I either want my money back, but matter of fact, you can't help me because I've already bought James P. Allen. So, but for others, get the money back or give them or replace the book that they got with a James P. Allen book. Because if you notice, James P. Allen, it'll be like page 9, page 20, 30. And Wudjau book is like page 200. You're not even getting deep into the grammar. So like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Basically, what you're saying is you selling African motif, Afrocentricity. But truth of the matter is, you're using what a Eurasian used in his studies.
Exactly.
But claiming it's all.
But
pretty
I
much.
think this is deeper than just an affinity for a particular author. This could get legal if the family chooses to take that step. But
Continue, Brother Chris, man.
yeah, brother, please
I'm
continue.
seeing this for the first time. You wouldn't allow us to see most of this. I'm seeing this for the first time, so I'm bugging out. So that's
Me
what's
too
up,
as well. I want to see all the slides, man. Let's
I want to see all this shit, all of it.
And what's even more bugged out. Let me show the books again because there's so much in here that I haven't even shown that everybody. It's like a fucking treasure hunt. You can go out and like
just go through that plagiarist stuff right there. Let everybody see it because I want to see.
All right, I apologize. Hold on, let me go back real quick.
Sum it all up, but I want to see it. I want to see where the Metal Nether Master is getting his,
Yeah, I want to know too. So, we just went through the whole King's name. You take us up from there. I mean, word for everything I've shown so far is word for word. Adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe qualities such as size, big, narrow, color, black, red, value, good, and cheap. Wudjau. Adjectives, words describe qualities such as big, bad, narrow, color, black, red, good, or cheap. And I'm personally going to end it at that because you have a lot of explaining to do to the African community. Because let me show this really quick right here. Is why are you taking 10% of this book and running around like you know something? And what it looked like is you faking it till you make it. Because let's be honest with something. I made a hieratic presentation maybe a week or two back. You never did that. But all of a sudden you guys know shit now? Why are y'all lying to people? Why are you not, telling people, hey, I really want to know Metal Nether. I really want to know my African roots. Why are you not giving them the avenue to qualified teachers? What makes you qualified? You got to address that whiteboard first before you even address me. And then after that, you owe James P. Allen a fucking apology.
Chris, do you have any more slides in regards to this?
I have some I'm working on, but those are different. These are like the actual like word for word ones. There's a lot that are like interchangeable, and we're gonna get into that too though.
Yeah, but you showed 7 or more consecutive words times how many of the slides you showed. So just one sequence of 7 words was enough. I mean, if you went through numerous slides, so
I'll slide through them again real quick for the audience because I'm pretty sure people jump in and miss things. I'm just gonna run through it, and just so you can see the correlations. The 2 books. This was the alleged accusation given towards the person we call Wudjau, who I don't know his real name, but that's what he calls himself. We have that. This is his book. This is 2013, where he was accused of stealing things, and obviously did, because the person said he got things wrong, and it's wrong here. He obviously fixed it, but you can see the layout, because other layouts that he stole from don't look like this, but they look like this. Next, we have James P. Allen's page 29. Wudjau's page 9091 is an exact steal from that. James P. Allen's page
Hold
8.
up, that last joint was like 7 consecutive
The
words
whole
times
paragraph.
like 80.
Yo, this
like
this whole thing is like, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, this is crazy.
Yo,
This ain't like,
the part that's bugging me is the copy bad punctuation and the bad grammar marks when the guy admits that he missed or he made an error with his punctuation, and you can see from his seeing the stolen content, like that's an agenda. You don't just copy that and the mistake. It's crazy.
So let me ask the panel a question, because we clearly have plagiarism on our hands from the O.S.I.R.I.S squad member Wudjau. We don't know if the other members were aware of this or not, but as a group that is presented as being the uttermost scholarly group in the conscious community, what should take place? Should O.S.I.R.I.S squad, outcast his brother, or should they give him an opportunity to correct his work? Or I mean, what should take place? Because we know they actually wanted you to be off of Team Osiris because of some situation that you got in over Metal Netter. If anybody wants to respond, I would love to hear what you brothers think that the scholastical group O.S.I.R.I.S squad should do with a known plagiarist.
In my opinion, because I've been through situations like this before, me being an editor, I would definitely have to take the book off the shelves, because to continue to promote it, to continue to sell it, is to continue to support it and agree with it. So I think that would be the first move. I can't say anything else as far as the politics within the group. I don't know how they run, but I would say, out of respect and out of honesty, for good business and for the people, and definitely for James Allen and his family and what he represents, I think it would be just honorable to just take the book off, take the book down, no longer sell it. People who just recently bought it, I think they deserve refunds or something in compensation.
and let me say something on that, Melvin. Let everybody else speak. I agree, because I'm gonna tell you something right now. I bought that book for $30. I ended up getting James P. Allen's book as a gift because of my passion that others have saw. And that book was about, what, $12 more? And it's a complete college course. It actually gives the full grammar. It goes deep into detail. You know what I'm saying? It equips you with the knowledge of Middle Egyptian. So if someone supposedly loves the black community, you love your black brother, you love your black African family, why would you lie to them? Why would you plagiarize the white boy, but then when your brother speaks actual facts, you want to make videos and you want to use the same books that you stole from with a picture of the white boy on it? Like what the fuck is wrong with people?
And let me cut to the chase too. I promise you, those that are listening live, I want the 43 viewers that's listening in the back chat and the hundreds of others that are listening live now. Take this as a record of scholarship, okay? We're not talking about nobody's children, their wives, what they do on their personal time. We're strictly talking about their scholarship. Now watch the retort. I want everybody that thinks logically, watch the retort and watch how it's directed and where it's going. Watch that, because that's going to tell you something. And that's going to show you where insecurity lies when you got the nerve to say you the A side and you the top and you're the best. You know, you never heard Michael Jordan say he was the best. You never heard him say that. He said, well, you know, I'm not sure. Maybe for my time, I don't know. And he was the best, and he didn't say it. But the main person that says they're the best usually aren't. That's how that goes. It's called ego. And people are using technology and sick means of demoralizing people because they want to belittle somebody. You might as well keep a white hoodie on and burn a cross. That's what you might as well do when you're saying the stuff that you're saying. When you think you can interrupt a person's presentation and try to correct them in a nice way. That's called the art of seduction. That's called stabbing somebody with velvet gloves. That's what that's called. But it is what it is. But we got your ass. Pause. Go ahead, Chris.
Brother Ngozi, you still on here?
Yeah, I'm right here. Peace and love.
What's your take on that, man? I mean, it's from,
Yeah.
you know, as being one of the founding members of the O.S.I.R.I.S squad, we have a scholastic group. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I'm one of the first people to join. I'm one of the original members of O.S.I.R.I.S squad. Unc and Brother Ish founded it. Brother Unc and Ish. But to be honest with you, I'm certain Wudjau does know a little Metanetta from what he learned from James P. Allen and stuff that he studied. You know, I was in Atlanta and I seen him read the hieroglyphs. I mean, they're little words. He doesn't know it fluently. I don't think no one does. But he does know how to decipher Metanetta. Far as the rest of O.S.I.R.I.S squad being aware of this, I'm sure they were not. I know my brother Sinjetti, he's not a plagiarizer. He probably wasn't aware of it. Brother Ankh wasn't probably aware of it. And a lot of them wasn't. As far as Wudjau is a late bloomer in O.S.I.R.I.S squad. He's not on the squad. I mean, what I'm saying is that he's not O.S.I.R.I.S squad. I mean, I never heard him scream it, but he just became a member like last year. A lot of people that's on O.S.I.R.I.S squad are fairly new. They are not, you know, to me, I don't look at them as O.S.I.R.I.S squad, especially if they don't scream it. You know, it's been a time period when it was just me and Unc doing our thing with O.S.I.R.I.S squad. You got Jonathan Owens, he's the original member of O.S.I.R.I.S squad. Sinjetti's original member of O.S.I.R.I.S squad. You know, a lot of people, Ish is a member of O.S.I.R.I.S squad, but far as him, brother Wudjau, he just became a part of O.S.I.R.I.S squad, and I wasn't aware of this. Like, I'm learning. So, you know, I don't know how they're going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they're going to deal with it. I don't know what they're going to say or do. But I know that this is interesting. This is really interesting. But again, I will say, he could read some Metanetta. He just never explained completely where he got it from. And
yeah, we know he can decipher or determine what, you know, things in the Metanetta is saying. That's not even a question.
Yeah, but I mean,
the fact of the situation is straight plagiarism.
Hold on. Let me just say this, brother Kufu. When a person wrote that long ass genre about Team Osiris was kicked out of O.S.I.R.I.S squad because of bad scholarship, this right here is bad scholarship. And the same myth or lie, because I left O.S.I.R.I.S squad. No one kicked me out. I left. Let's get that correct. I left because I didn't agree with certain things that was going on. And it wasn't a problem against Ankh. It was a problem against the people that's being talked about right now and a lot of other bullshit. But I left O.S.I.R.I.S squad. No one kicked out Team Osiris. So I got people, you know, you got people in the thing that's writing that y'all got kicked out of O.S.I.R.I.S squad. I'm sorry. Team Osiris left. I left. So let's get that correct. But if they can write that about Team Osiris and we did nothing, that same rule should apply for him because of the plagiarization. It's bogus. It should apply. Period. That's how it is. That's how we run things. That's how O.S.I.R.I.S squad kicked out a few people for bad scholarship, but Ngozi was never kicked out. Let's get that shit correct. So, as far as this right here is just crazy. But I don't know how it can be explained. What happened? You know, I don't know. But we will see how it ends. So that's my thing.
I'm gonna say this: you're gonna need a time machine to explain this shit.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we got a bad signal. I appreciate Brother Ngozi for bringing clarity to that. And to the audience, you know, this is a matrix. of individuals that are intermingle with one another. This is only on scholarship. This isn't personal hatred. I would never give somebody enough energy to hate them. That means that they're consuming some part of my life. Hate takes so much energy out of you. And if you literally hate somebody, they're winning. So whoever you hating, you're fighting a losing battle. You're damaging yourself. So nobody here hates anyone. It's just that we are all individual people, and we should be respected as such. I may have a problem, let's say, with Anka Keck. That doesn't mean Kufu does. Or that doesn't mean Chris does or Ngozi does. Vice versa. Everybody is individuals here. We have to carry ourselves as such. But when you're willing to go into the public and try to dismantle someone or argue someone's scholarly prowess, when we're in that arena, those that have gone to school and have labored, or those that appreciate scholarship and are avid readers, those that love to research on their own independently without being paid, this is wrong. And when you say what you are, you got to be what you are. So this is not going to be, you're not going to get out of this with some scapegoat about somebody attacking a person personally. No. You put a book out there, you put a price on it, you put your name on it, you put a cover on it, you teach a class on it. So you're open to criticism like anybody else. And what I do want to mention, and Brother Ngozi mentioned it, Brother Chris mentioned it, the 1974 through 1976 UNESCO conference, when Sheikh Diop tried to talk about Kemet, K-M-T, meaning black people. That was never justified. And we got to stop being apologetic because of who we think is on our team because they just look like us. That's not the case, man. We got to stop being critical readers and critical thinkers. So let's say that for the record. This isn't just a random act. This is fair play. This is somebody who came on the show, and it's just how energy works. We wasn't expecting this. We didn't go out looking for this. This brother was just researching. Chris was just researching, trying to better his craft. He was preparing for part 3 of his presentation and found this. But it's odd how those kind of things happen. So we kind of want to make that clear. But it ain't about being politically correct because your ass is bogus. So that don't have nothing to do with that. With word for word, even the quotations and the periods and all that stuff, that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. So let's just be clear with that. And I do appreciate Brother Ngozi clearing that up. But I do digress to the floor. Queen Neferka, I know you've been rather quiet. Do you have any comments on this?
Good work, Chris. I think this is excellent work. I thank you for putting it out there. I don't know if I want to answer the question as to what should be done. I mean, I think at the very least, it should be acknowledged by the person who's guilty of doing it. Should all of our Mirage squad be, pointed at and said, oh, you guys must know? No. But the person who's responsible needs to acknowledge that he did it and at least apologize. And I'm glad I didn't buy any of those books or them damn flashcards because I would want my money back. But that's it.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Shit, she said the flashcards. I have to laugh at that. That's fucking crazy.
Oh, man. Brother Haru. Any comments, man? Because what I'll do, I think we had, well, go ahead, Brother Haru. I'll let you speak on that before I go there.
All I gotta say is, oh, what a tangle web we weave.
Hey, Ru, I would like for you to do do what you did before the show started. If you could do that, that'll be the icing on the cake, man. Are you ready?
A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Ooh wee!
I really try not to laugh.
We ain't done, yo, but hold on, because they did the shit to me. Hey, I
really try not to laugh, man.
I see you. I see you.
Oh, man.
I heard that bullshit.
Oh
I think
boy.
it's really important, man, for us to really start getting into explaining who the people of Northeast Africa was. I think that we should really give a lot of respect to those Bija people and the Ghana groups that still live in Northeast Africa. I think we should start doing more shows on the diversity of Africa and the uniqueness of each group of people, the uniqueness of the people, the variety of people on that continent. But I think we really should start talking about Kemet and who these people in Kemet were, because Kemet does not mean land of black people. If everybody's black, why would they call it the land of black people? Because everybody's black. That means that somebody outside of the continent had to give them that name. So it couldn't have meant land of black people, because that means a foreigner saying them to call them that. So we really got to start explaining who was who and who was what. And it's real important for the audience and everybody out there that listens to us to know the diversity of the continent of Africa. Seriously. And I think that we'll start getting more into that. We have to. We have to.
Hey,
But I mean, you guys have done that before, though. I'm sorry, Melvin. You guys have. And I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, I'm not disagreeing, but you guys have spoken about that before numerous times. So, like, people are going to accept it if they're willing to. I mean, that's how I see it.
You know what, Sister Neferkat, we have, but I don't think the people hear us, and I think we got to really drill it in. You know, Africa is a very important place. You know, people got the wrong impression on ancient Kemet. They don't even know how those people function for real. You know, the ideology of, I call it New Age Afrocentricity, because there's nothing wrong with being centered in Africa. I mean, I'm centered in Africa, but to be centered in Africa all the time can kind of be insanity, because Africa is a continent, and when you know that you are a descendant of that place, being centered in it is in you already genetically. So you don't have to walk around and wear daishiki or say hotep or say fancy words to say, oh, I'm African. I mean, you just as well as the African as the dude that drinks alcohol all day. He's a sub-Saharan African. Genes is genes. You can't denounce the DNA. But as far as understanding being centered in Africa, having knowledge of self, understanding the continent of Africa and being centered in it is on point. But to exaggerate with it, this is what's going on with the conscious community. The exaggeration and the romanticism of Africa, and the romanticism of thinking that only Kemet makes up the whole Africa. You got people that believe that the Egyptians fled out of Kemet and went all through West Africa. It's 56 countries in Africa when you include Madagascar and certain little islands. Technically it's 54, but when you include the major two, it's 56, or the Canary Islands is 56. And what I'm saying is that for you to say that people from Egypt went all over Africa and became these other people to make yourself feel good is insane. Egypt does not make Africa. We forget about all the other countries.
Hey, Ngozi, you make a good point. And it goes, I think in Chancellor Williams' Destruction of Black Civilization, he kind of gives us a clue and a hint to that, what you just said. When the Hyksos came in, what did the indigenous people do? They merged into the structure. They was giving their wives to the Hyksos, their daughters to the Hyksos. They wanted to keep their positions. When the Greeks came in, they did the same damn thing. When the Persians came in, they did the same thing. They went all the way to Persia, doing artwork for them in Persia. So I think that's a good point that you made, man. Just wanted
I mean, the people in Kemet did not see Africa the way we see Africa today. They had more land in the so-called Middle East than they had in the heart of Africa. They had more contact with people in the Middle East than they did in the heart of Africa. When you start studying the people, you have a lot of back migration traits, especially on the mitochondrial DNA. Because to be honest with everybody, 60% of Egypt today, paternal lineage is indigenous to Northeast Africa. Those people ain't went nowhere. They just been watered down because they've been breeding with different people. About 60% of them are indigenous Northeast African. I think about 20% of them are Arabs that came in 690 AD. Those people are not Arabs. And autosomally speaking, they're more genetically, they have more genetic affinities or similarities to people in the Mediterranean or Southern Europe than they do to people in the Middle East. Arabs' genetic affinities are more closer to people in India, whether it's Northern India or Southeast India. Let's explain what the fuck an Arab is. And let's explain the genetic affinities that they have overall, especially when you deal with certain SNPs like J marker. But I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to get into DYRs because I got to get slicker than that. Because people think they can keep up with haplogroup, but haplogroup does not determine your race. So let's talk about the people in Kemet. And let's talk about the people who they are. Those people have been watered down and they're still there. and 60% of those people paternally are indigenous to Northeast Africa, and the rest of the people are foreigners. So, I'm not going. So we're going to talk about who these people were, who came in when, certain artwork that you can see in Northeast Africa, and certain artwork that you can see that came out of Northeast Africa and went into the Levant, or the extension part of the Levant, because now they classify Egypt as the Levant today. So we really need to study that little zone of Northeast Africa and all the whole continent.
Yes, I definitely agree, Brother Amir. I also think people, after tonight, a lot of people are thinking a lot of things in their head. They're thinking a lot of things in their head, and they're some are upset, some are angry.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a fourth medal.
Some just don't know what to do about the situation. And I think what we can do is show people how to properly cite sources, how to properly give someone credit for information that you yourself cannot own, or you yourself are not privy to, being the original person with the content. I think we should actually show people how to pick up a book and look into a book and look for certain things to at least validate from an academic perspective whether this book should be taken literally or maybe it's just a fun read. And I think it's both our fault as consumers to make sure we double check what we buy into, make sure we do our research on it before we spend the $30, $40, $50, $100. And I think that's something we can show the people. Definitely give them a head up so that way this doesn't happen next time. Some people can't get a refund. Some people, they're still in the class and they're wondering what they should do. So I think that's just something that needs to be put more focus on from an academic perspective, because we don't want anybody misleading or hustling the people, and then the people, kind of counter-react in a non-positive way.
That's a good point, Melvin. Because a lot of people, they come into this and they actually sit there and they pray to O.S.I.R.I.S or they pray to Amun, the words. Over here at Team O.S.I.R.I.S, I can tell you we deal with the aspects of it. Point blank. I mean, praying to O.S.I.R.I.S is like point. You might as well. You could just pick Allah or God or Jesus, or I mean, just for people that are just coming into this and they're studying this stuff, they're actually trying to change out from being a Christian, Muslim, or whatever background they come from, and they're taking on these concepts and they're actually praying to them as if they're taking it literal. But the aspects of what they represent, that's what you're supposed to tap into and be closer with, what it represents.
Well said, bro.
Yeah, I totally agree, bro.
Well said. And let's keep it layman too. We don't have to get too technical. A lot of this stuff that goes on in this community is a racket. And like I said yesterday, we all make faults. Do not follow people. Follow logic. I don't want anybody telling me that I'm their leader. I don't want anybody telling me that they just follow everything the Consul says, because I just might let you down. I'm a human being first, so I'm automatically flawed. I'm not the smartest. I'm not going to have every answer. It's stuff I'm not going to know. Sometimes I may speak out of character. I may say something I shouldn't say, but I'm a human being first, so I should be given that respect at being that. And so to pick apart a person's flaws and then expose it is wrong. So now when you do that and you run your mouth and you constantly talk and you make your name off of belittling somebody else, well, the chicken gonna come to roost. So at the end of the day, just speaking layman term, why your ass ain't saying shit? Why you not defending this? Why you not speaking on it? Because the last time we did a show involving Meta Netta, the same person had a miraculous way of finding this link and coming up on this page live while we was talking. Where you at? Because now that the same situation is here, it's crickets. Ain't shit popping. So it's only being fair. It's only being fair and objective. Because nobody's perfect, and nobody never said that. So in all due fairness, this is empirical data. This is data that can be observed. People across the country have both books. It has no doing of Team Osiris. It would be like Team Osiris critiquing a book by Albert Pike and saying this is false and this ain't right. This book ain't no different than any other book. When people get picked on about their degrees, whether they real or not, all this other stuff, we got to be held accountable for it. All of us do. All of us have made mistakes in that vein, man. It's not just, well, this person is absolutely wrong. Well, this person is this. What this is about is clarity. This book was plagiarized. James P. Allen was plagiarized. We need to start, I'm going to start doing it, and I'm going to put it out there. Team Osiris already talked about Afrocentricity. We already talked about how it's being misappropriated from its original usage. We already talked about how people buy products with African motifs made by a different ethnic group. But you pick on a Nike, you'll pick on another clothing company or food company because they do the same thing you do. But you're upset because you don't want to take the hard work and time that it took to develop a brand to be on the same level. We got people that talk about finance and don't know about finance. It ain't about getting approved for just a credit card. It's way deeper than that. Team Osiris, we already have empirical, observational data of tons of shows that we've done in the last year to touch on all these subject matters. We talked about trademarking. We talked about the origin of the Hebrew. We didn't discredit the Hebrew. We talked about the origin being in the northern and southern Levant, which is African. We talked about metaphysics and horoscopes and astrology like Polite did a year ago. Neferka bodied that shit a year ago. It's not about getting credit. It's about showing and proving. It's already recorded and out there for people to partake in. So we're part of the collective that wants to learn and wants to grow. And we right there competing. We got a tribute to Dr. Sabi that's coming up. But guess what you got to do to pay tribute to the man? You got to pay. You got to pay for a ticket to go sit somewhere to say you appreciate somebody. Why would you have to do that? Start thinking about the shit you being bombarded with. Think about it. None of us are getting paid right now to do this. Everybody is just as cognitive as you are that's out there listening. It ain't about being politically correct. Because everybody knows with common sense, for every 2 people that give you a hug, 1 of them is hugging you and cussing you out at the same time. That's just life. That's alpha beta. So cut the Afrocentric garbage because you're not representing Afrocentricity correctly. If you can't handle the conversation without slandering and throwing mud, don't engage in it because you're not capable of doing that. But I digress the floor, you know. I got my little rant on. Brother Cameron, you have a comment on it? Okay, Cameron might be busy. Well, we're going to close out. I think it really spoke for itself. But before we close out, I open the floor to the members of Team Osiris to close out.
Yeah, quick question. Do we have any questions in the chat? Any comments? Any concerns?
Let's see.
You think it needs to be addressed and brought up?
Let's see.
No, I'm really following this group chat thing, and I really don't see anything that we need to really address to be serious. I see I
do see one.
I see a troll. I see one troll.
I see one though, by Mr. Or Mrs. I'm not sure. so forgive me. Menes Meach, I was so disappointed with the Sotomayor / Sabi bait and switch. Very critical, and very wise, if you ask me. I think that's a very critical observation. When people had to go pay tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King, when they came to the memorial, they didn't have to pay. Think about that. Where was the memorial for Dr. Francis Cress Welsing? I want y'all to think about that. Malcolm X's memorial, was it a ticket price to go? Well, mind you, I might add, watch the aftermath of this. Watch the mud slinging. Watch all of that. And let's see what comes out of it. We got Eve. I don't know if you were talking about this stuff, but go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead, because I was going to do a closing remark.
Okay. No, go ahead, brother. I'm done. I don't see anything else.
All I'm gonna say is, for the people out there, everybody on this panel is just a regular person. We have our own lives. Many of us work. We have our own businesses. Many of us raise children. I think with the conscious community, a lot of people have lost their sense of regular life. You know, so much has been superficial and dreamt about, in reality is not being observed. And I think when you have instances like this, you have situations like what happened to Sabi and Corin and many others, they should be wake-up calls to not take this conscious thing too further than what it is. You know, focus on your life. I made a post about that. Focus on what's going on in your home. Focus on your children. Focus on yourself. Focus on your health. Those are the more important things to focus on rather than what's going on with the conscious community, because this is all temporary. That's my closing remarks.
Well said, brother.
Can I say something, Kansu, real quick?
Go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, straight up, the video will be up. Go through each slide, each page is shown for Wudjau's book, shown for James P. Allen's book. Check the shit out for yourself and judge for yourself. You know, it's 2016. Let's stop being lied to. You know, let's stop people playing on the ignorance of other people. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop doing that. Let's stop playing that game. You know, it's over. It's motherfucking done. And I'm telling you now, like, this ain't the only thing that's done. Like, it's gonna be a Team O.S.I.R.I.S on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? This is just the beginning. Trust me.
Anyone else with a perspective? All right. It's been a great night. You know, we wish well to all the listeners and everyone out there. Wish you a safe evening. A shout out of solidarity and love to the victims out there in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that are going through some really tragic times. It seems like it's becoming redundant. You know, our prayers and well wishes go out to friends and family that are out there. Please be safe, be wise. A revolutionary will without revolutionary skill get a revolutionary kill. With that being said, Team Osiris, we out.